this is just a crazy circumstance. Missionaries get into the most ridiculous circumstances. I don't know how. There were so many times where I was like, I would never have been in this situation if I had not served a mission. Like, how does this happen? And so we were trying to get to the temple because we had permission to go to the temple if one of our investigators was going through. And so we're on our way to the temple, and the only member that could take us had to stop and do a polar bear plunge before we went, and in the bay, in the Chesapeake Bay. And it was December. It was December. And it was just this huge event. And so she was like, you have to come with me, but you can go. And we had permission to do it. And so we went, and it was a den of iniquity. It was this huge like event thing for the Special Olympics, to raise money for the Special Olympics. But there was so much happening there that was not okay. And there was alcohol everywhere, and we could smell pot, and like half naked people everywhere. And we were just like, oh, where are we? It was crazy. And so we were like, and we had parked like a mile away from where we were. And so we had to walk back, and on our way back, and we were with the member, and on our way back, this person stops next to us in their car, and they were like, do you want to ride? And the member was like, yeah. And so she just hops in the car. And so like, we can't leave her. And so we're like, ah. So we get in the car, and we're hitchhiking, and I'm training, and I'd been out 5 weeks. I'm training this new missionary, and who'd been out like 3 days. And we get into the car, and there was alcohol everywhere, like open beer bottles, beer everywhere. And she was drinking as she was driving. So we're hitchhiking with this drunk driver on the way to the temple. And it was so ridiculous. And so we ended up getting out, and my companion had been really afraid to talk to people at the event, which was like the only way I could justify being there. And she was so afraid. And then when we get in the car, there's this drunk driver, and she just pipes up and teaches her the entire first lesson. And it was hilarious. And it was so her, because she was very unafraid most of the time, but she teaches her this whole lesson, this drunk woman who's driving us to the car. And we managed to get to the car alive and safely, and we got to the temple on time. So it was ridiculous, but just one of those moments where I was like, how did this even happen to me? kind of situations. But it does happen a lot on the mission, and you just kind of roll with them and hope that the Lord takes care of you. So